My name is Donna Ryan, and I'm the founder of Birth Boot Camp. And I actually sold the company in 2021, but I am officially the historian at Birth Boot Camp since I've been here since day one. Birth Boot Camp is turning 10 years old. My baby is growing up. It's pretty exciting. So yeah, March 24th is, it was a soft launch. We did it at my house, and everybody came, and we had all the computers set up, and people could watch, the online classes a little bit and look at the materials. And I had people from all over Fort Worth come to that. It was cool. But then we did a hard launch on the 26th of March. So it's pretty exciting. My buddy, Alexa Gum, I actually told her what I wanted the company to say. I said, I wanted people to know they were gonna work really hard to get the birth they wanted. And I wanted dads to know that this was also for them, and that this was for the couple. And so I told Alexa that, and she was like, okay, I'm on it. She would always think of names for events that we did and different things with our birth network. So Alexa came back, and I wish I had that piece of paper. She had 5 names of different things. And when I read Birth Boot Camp, I was like, I just couldn't let that go. I was like, I think that's it. I think that's it. Wouldn't it be fun to find out what were the other 4 things on the list? I should find it someday. This is the beginning of Birth Boot Camp. We had a lot of interviews dispersed within, the classes. And so I would sit and watch them and then try to plug in exactly for our videographer. And it was pretty intense. So in fact, it evolved. Eventually, I gave her a copy that looked like this. And so she was, using what was in red, and everybody had a different color for different interviews put together. But I was super involved in the editing process with the first 2 times we recorded the online classes. I actually taught Bradley Method for 9 years, and I had everything on DVD, and things had gotten a little bit complicated with Bradley. And so I stepped back from that and just started writing my own stuff. And that was the end of 2011. We started recording videos, and it was just crazy. I mean, to think that we started that in November and we launched it at the end of March. It's kind of cool to go back and look at it. I can't bring myself to throw it away because this was so much work. When you think about our field manuals and how beautiful they are, this is how it started. Just me just typing it all up. This is what it looked like. And then this is what I gave to Yvette, who did all of our, she still does all of our graphic design. She'd actually been in my childbirth class, and so she was familiar with the material and what I was teaching. So she put graphics to it, and then there was of course a lot of back and forth from there and what we wanted things to look like. I felt like Blockbuster, to be honest. I was burning DVDs all the time because I had people all over the world doing my class. It was just my class at the time. The DVDs were actually my Bradley classes. People would search Bradley Method online, and there was nothing that existed. And so they would find my blog, Banned from Baby Showers, and they were like, oh, I can order DVDs through this person. And I did it as a rental, I didn't sell them. So I was literally shipping out 4 weeks, getting it back, sending out the next 4 weeks, getting it back. I mean, it was insane. I would send them in pizza boxes. It was hilarious. This was our very first book, and a lot of this you still recognize, with Birth Boot Camp materials. So with our Kegel Corner and Chow Charts evolved, look at that. That's kind of fun. They used to be on 1 page, and now of course they're divided up with every day of the week. So, but yeah, a lot of it probably looks very familiar. So there's a lot that has stayed the same, but obviously a lot that is different. I was sitting in a parking lot at Spring Creek Barbecue in Arlington, Texas with my buddy Ceci, and I was like, I am just so sick of this. I would love to just put my classes online. And she said, I'll put them online for you. I'll even build you a website. I'll do it for 10,000 bucks. And I was like, deal. We shook on it in the parking lot. And honestly, it started rolling really, really fast because I knew we had to move. This is a fun thing. Early on, we had the breastfeeding DVDs in the back of the book. So of course now people just watch it online and it's so easy. But this was expensive to have it. Along the breastfeeding classes, they evolved. Eventually we stopped doing this and it was just a regular cover. And then everybody got, you know, a breastfeeding DVD like that with their book. And then that evolved into like an actual, you know, DVD case. I don't know about y'all, but I don't even have a way to play a DVD anymore. So this obviously went by the wayside as well. So, but it was always, you know, 2 discs, and you get a lot of information there. So that is just online now, and it just streams. So that's super easy. There were instructor resources, different interviews that we had done. And so we just put them on the DVD. There was a lot of PT and chow stuff on there, all the exercises. This is like when people came to training, they got these for their classes. Like they would actually get DVDs. All their birth videos was on a DVD. I feel like a lot of the childbirth education companies, workbooks, materials, I don't know, they tend to all be pastel and I don't know, very, very neutral. And I feel like Birth Boot Camp, I wanted to do something a little edgy, you know, a little cooler. And we've always been committed to doing that. So I thought that we would be just rocking and rolling because it was solid curriculum and I was committed to staying up to date with materials. This was our first instructor manual, and you can see it's not very thick. We realized shortly after the book was out, like people had questions and we needed to answer them. So we came up with an operations manual. And so it was just a handy little book that people could look up, you know, get the answers to their questions. I don't remember how long we actually had that out, but eventually we were like, we gotta put it in one book. So you can tell that is a lot more substantial. So it's like cute and throw it in your bag and head off to class. And but see, we did the panels too on that, so that was kind of fun. It just evolved a lot. I haven't looked at this in a little while. From this book to this one, this was 2016 when we launched this one. So you can tell, I mean, they're both about the same thickness, but boy, we kept adding, you know, different things, different ideas. The format was very similar though, with like talking points, and then we would go to, you know, like a detailed outline. We used this for several years. The format was just a lot of words, okay? And so when we changed it up, we actually included our slides that we have at Birth Boot Camp. So not all the instructors use a slide presentation. I actually never did, but a lot of them do. And so it helped them with their slides and then be able to, like, this is what you're talking about with that slide. So it was so easy. Putting all this together was not easy, but it's so easy to teach Birth Boot Camp. So anyway, that's kind of how we literally go in order of everything. So, but that was a big project, but I'm super excited about, you know, those changes that we made over the years. The first person I pulled in was Sarah Clark, and she was instrumental in pulling all this together. She also taught childbirth classes out in Northern California, and so we team wrote everything together, and it was pretty awesome. I had a birth network that we founded together, several of us in the Fort Worth area, and the people that we worked with on that largely became the advisory board of Birth Boot Camp. And I mean, our first meeting when everybody met Sarah, we were at a speedway up in, like the Motor Speedway, at a condo overlooking, you know, this racetrack in North Fort Worth. It was hilarious, but we were all there for a whole weekend. And I tell you, just like deciding the reading list that our trainees were gonna read through, you know, the books, just deciding different policies that we were gonna have. It was awesome to have this team of people, you know, doing all of that. So it was a collaborative effort for sure. So I don't think Donna Ryan could have done this all alone. So I'm super grateful for the people that I had involved with me, you know, starting all this up. We had a lot of instructors asking us to have a doula program because they were certifying as a doula with other organizations, but they felt like the support, the materials, everything that we were doing at Birth Boot Camp was so good, they wanted a doula program. So it was about November of 2014 when we started the doula program, and that has evolved a lot over the years as well. In 2014, we launched a doula program, and so it was kind of a similar format with, like, they had, you know, like a cute little book, you know, that they used. In fact, I don't even think the first one, it didn't have any like pictures. That was something that evolved over the years. There was demand to have that. And so that was good, like different positions you can help, with different things. That was our book. Our first tagline was supporting families in natural birth, because we were entirely focused on helping couples have a natural birth. When I sold the company in 2021, this was the last one. But you can tell it's just, it's so easy to handle, and it just was such a better book. But see all the pictures. This was a big deal to add all that. So again, a little bit more substantial, more stuff there as time went on. And of course the book. Honestly, the inside of our doula handbook, or the doula workbook, didn't actually change that much. Now they've launched a postpartum doula program, so I wasn't a part of that. That's Holly's thing, but I never worked as a doula, so I was pulled in other people to do that program. This is kind of funny. I was at a MANA conference in St. Louis, and it was the first time that I had actually thought, like, maybe we need to do a little branding shift, because out on this table that we were doing, we had this for one, and then we had this green for the doula. And it was like, wait a minute, our stuff doesn't really match. And so at that point, that's when we said, we need to change our workbook. So that's when we started with the green cover. So we retired the rusted 10, and it evolved into this beautiful green. You might notice that the tagline is still training couples in natural birth. And this was actually our tagline until 2017. So it was a long time that I still feel like Birth Boot Camp provides a really great map for that, for having a natural birth. But it did evolve into having an amazing birth. Because the truth is, no matter what kind of birth people have, we want them to just feel educated and like that they still had an amazing experience, whether they have an epidural or cesarean. Ultimately, they are part of the process, and that they had a say in what was going on. And that's what we were finding with Birth Boot Camp classes. So tagline changed, and at the end of 2017, we actually, this comprehensive class, we chopped it up and it became all these other classes. So people could really do whatever they needed to do, with their class. If they just wanted like a little comfort measures class, they actually get 2 books with that. A class for their kiddos that are going to be at the birth, a class just for their baby, which of course the breastfeeding class feeds into some of these as well. I've been a little crazy with the swag. Like, I love the swag. Where else can we put Birth Boot Camp, So we've had all kinds of things. We've done key fobs and everything. Our logo has not changed. Isn't that funny? Over the years. We've changed our taglines, but the logo, if you have something that says Birth Boot Camp, a shirt from 10 years ago, you can still wear it today. It's kind of cool. I like to joke that we have a drinking problem at Birth Boot Camp. Okay, we have gone through every kind of cup you can ever imagine. This beautiful cup was our very first. It's embarrassing now. It's so funny. But at the time, everybody was like, oh my gosh, I love it. So it was really fun. I don't have the one that was after this one, but it was just green. But then everybody was like, we want colors. So we actually did this. We had a green cup, we had the pink, the blue, and we had a purple. So it's like so many colors. They're doing some great things and have some great things in store, and they're keeping up with materials, making sure things are updating. Holly and I were talking today about other studies. So yeah, I think that it's moving along.